And I do think that when you're doing a more spread out release, you don't tune that stuff out as much because you're not just kind of like, I've seen 5 hours of this already and I have 2 hours to go or something. Let's talk about Netflix. Netflix says stop all the binging. Stop all the downloading. So what the hell am I talking about? As we all know, Netflix created the whole binge, show binging thing. Well, they didn't create that, but they facilitated it, if you will, by releasing their shows over the past few years as just all at once. We became accustomed to, over the years and years of TV, of shows coming out every week. Netflix said, fuck all that, we're releasing them all at once. Binge the hell out of it. And it was a popular thing. Binging became a popular term, and people would do it. Stranger Things, Ozark, all their shows, everything comes out at once. I think Stranger Things broke the mold just slightly because they released the last 2 episodes of last season a few weeks later. But I heard that was because they weren't finished. But maybe there was a little bit of a attack there to drum up some hype for them. Well, it is suggested that Netflix wants to move away from the binge model releases in some form. Netflix currently uses weekly episode drops for some reality competition shows, but there might soon be a time when it becomes used for Netflix's biggest originals as a means of keeping viewers engaged over a longer period of time. According to a report, Netflix CEO Reed Hastings has seemed unwilling to pivot off the binge model because he hasn't needed or wanted to. Now it appears he does. Netflix already confirmed that Stranger Things Season 5 will keep its binge release model. So before I get into my thoughts on this, Nick, what do you think of this? Why do you think this is happening? And do you think this is a good idea, bad idea? What do you think of this?
I don't have a problem with this for the simple fact of if you look at Netflix's shows, think about how we binge it, but like a week later, do you remember half the shit you watched on Netflix for that simple fact that you binged it? Like, yeah, we can talk about, Stranger Things the week that it premieres, and they did do a kind of a split thing, but it's like, we're not talking about Stranger Things anymore right now, because we watched it all. We're still talking about She-Hulk, we're still talking about Mandalorian because they do it every week. We're still talking about, whatever show that's on Amazon Prime, like The Boys and stuff like that, because it shows every week, but Netflix is doing this because they know that they can garner more subscriptions because people will, delete their account once they finish Stranger Things or once they finish Irishman or whatever they watch, and it's just like they know what's up, and plus they're bleeding money anyway. So,
I agree. I think unfortunately, all right, I like the binge thing. I don't like to wait. I'm an impatient person. When something comes out, I think you've even said to me before, hey, have you seen this show? And I'm like, I'll probably watch it once all the episodes are out. Because I don't like waiting week to week. But I do recognize how that can help with viewership and things like that and drumming up people talking about the show or the movie or whatever. Now, I like the binge thing because Stranger Things premieres, I can go and I can just watch them back to back to back. On the flip side of that, I can admit, you're right, that not only, you watch it and then, people aren't really talking about it anymore. But also, I can say that when watching a show like that, something that's really long, especially this past season, that had extremely long episodes, it gets to a point to where you watch so much of it at once that it all bleeds together. And it's just like you start missing some of it because you kind of tune out at some point. If it's not like extremely engaging, when you have those down moments, you just kind of tune out. And I do think that when you're doing a more spread out release, you don't tune that stuff out as much because you're not just kind of like, I've seen 5 hours of this already and I have 2 hours to go or something.
Right.
You take in everything you're seeing. You pay attention more. So I'm kind of like, it's a double-edged sword for me because I like that model, but then on the flip side of that, I see that releasing it every week for 8 weeks as opposed to in one day keeps people interested, keeps people talking about your show, your property, and things like that. Keeps it at the forefront of people's minds for longer. Because the honest truth is, all of Netflix's show, hell, all of most streaming content platform shows are not Stranger Things. Stranger Things is that anomaly, but that is really big. It's a huge thing that when it comes out, people are going to talk about it. But I mean, people aren't going to talk about Ozark, past when it comes out. They would. I mean, it may be a good show. I actually haven't seen it, but I've heard good things about it. But people aren't going to continue to talk about that. They're not going to continue to talk about Sandman beyond a week or two after it comes out, because they've seen it and they moved on. It may be good, but they've said what they have to say. And I hate to say it, because everybody was talking about for the longest time that, Netflix came along and changed the game, and we changed the whole thing that had been done for literally decades up to that point of the weekly release schedule. And now we've gone to this new thing that everybody liked more. And now it's weird that we went there for the better part of a decade, and now we're transitioning back to where it all started, to weekly releases. And I find that kind of ironic, but I get it. I think that they should do it if they want to remain, because that is one of the things I liked about Netflix also, is they were one of the ones that still did that. But in order for them to remain in competition, I think they have to drum up that all that talk about their properties as they come out. So I'm on board. I mean, I am begrudgingly on board with this, even though I like to binge things. Like when we were talking about Mandalorian earlier, when it comes out, will I watch it as it comes out? Maybe, because I really like that show. But man, I'm really gonna wish I could just watch them back to back to back, because I don't want to sit there and wait a week each time. So, but hey, that's me. I also, like I said, I get the reason that they're gonna do this. But what do you guys think out there? Netflix changing over to a weekly thing. And I guess another question, do you think that I think that this is a direction that this is going to happen. Do you think that this is going to happen to all their shows? I mean, they've already announced the Stranger Things thing. Season 5 is going to be the binge model. Do you think that they're just going to transition over to everything, or do you think that they'll do some things? What do you think, Nick?
I mean, they'll probably see how it does. If it works, they'll transition everything over. But it's more of just like they're going to see what their margins are when it comes to like viewership and stuff like that. So
sure.
Yeah, I think that give them some time. I'm sure they will.
Do you think that something like what was that movie? It was really Cowboy Bebop. That was a show. That wasn't a movie. That was a show, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that something like that would have fared better had it been spread out? Oh, I didn't see it.
No, it wasn't good. Like,
okay.
It doesn't.
That's why.
It all depends on. If the show's good, they'll gain viewership. But that show wasn't good. It looked cheap and terrible. So.
Okay, that's why it failed.
Yeah.
I'd heard some people say good things about it, so I was like, maybe this would have helped that, but no, it just sounds like it wasn't good. I didn't watch it. All right, well, Netflix, let us know in the comments below if you're upset about this whole binge model thing going away, possibly. Do you like the binge model? Do you like the weekly episodes model? Do you see the validity in this? Whatever it may be, just let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are.